Victoria's guilt trip, the daughter who died trying to please her mother, aka the emotional abuse arc of Princess Alice. Welcome back to Past People, the place where historical side characters get the full main character glow-up they deserve, especially the ones steamrolled by their own family. Today's victim? Princess Alice, Queen Victoria's second daughter. The emotionally intelligent one, the compassionate one, the one who deserved a therapist, a hug, and a break from her guilt-tripping, emotionally constipated mother. This is the story of a woman who lived her whole life trying to win the love of a monarch who simply wasn't capable. Get your tissues and your tiaras, because this is the emotional abuse arc of Queen Victoria's saddest daughter. Princess Alice, the underrated emotional support child. Let's set the stage. It's April 1843, and Queen Victoria has just given birth to her third child, Alice. She's not the heir, she's not the spare, she's there. While Vicky, the eldest daughter, is being praised for her cleverness and Bertie is being groomed as the Prince of Wales, with very low expectations, mind you, Alice is quietly absorbing every emotional tremor in the royal household. She's the child who feels everything. The one who tries to smooth things over, the one who keeps the peace. And oh honey, in the House of Windsor, that job should have come with hazard pay. Queen Victoria, motherhood isn't her thing. Now, it's no secret that Queen Victoria didn't exactly enjoy being a mother. She once wrote that babies are frog-like and hideous. She viewed pregnancy as an exhausting inconvenience and childbirth as a temporary curse sent from above. So when little Alice showed empathy, depth, and an actual emotional compass, Victoria was confused, irritated even. Victoria didn't want her children to feel things. She wanted obedience, loyalty, and above all, emotional distance. Alice, unfortunately, couldn't help but care. The death of Prince Albert, Alice becomes the replacement spouse. In 1861, when Prince Albert died, Victoria fell apart like a Regency sofa in a thunderstorm. And who stepped up to keep the monarchy and the mother afloat? Alice. She was 18 years old. While her siblings floundered or fled, Alice moved into Windsor and became Victoria's unofficial therapist, secretary, and spiritual crutch. She sat with her, she wrote letters for her, she listened to her grief for hours on end. And Victoria, being Victoria, promptly became dependent on Alice, and then resented her for it. Classic narcissist behaviour. The marriage betrayal. Alice tries to have a life. Now here's where things get tragic and dramatic. Alice falls in love. She meets Louis of Hesse, a sweet, if slightly bland, German prince with a decent chin and questionable finances. She wants to marry him. Victoria is appalled. He's not rich enough, not powerful enough, not worthy of her daughter, who's now become her personal grief pillow. But Alice pushes through. She wants a life, a family, some autonomy, and after months of sulking, letter writing, and melodrama, Victoria agrees. She does attend the wedding, but oh honey, she attends it in full widow mode. It was just months after Prince Albert's death, and Queen Victoria made sure the wedding felt more like a funeral than a celebration. She wore black. Everyone else wore black. The ceremony, dripping in mourning crepe and emotional repression. There were more tears than toasts, and instead of joy, the mood was mournfully polite. Because how dare Alice try to be happy? Alice in Hesse, queen of budget royalty. So off Alice goes to Darmstadt, a place that's basically the Lidl of European royal courts. She's got little money, a dull court, and a kind but painfully boring husband. But does she sulk? No. Alice throws herself into charity work, hospital reform, nursing, and parenthood. She writes beautiful letters. She lectures her husband about progressive ideas. She literally teaches villagers about hygiene and midwifery in the 1860s. Meanwhile, Victoria writes her letters with increasing coldness. She criticizes Alice's tone, accuses her of being too emotional, tells her to stop being so soft. Imagine getting passive-aggressive letters from your mother while treating typhoid patients in a converted cow barn. Unreal. The tragedy of Fritti, where the curse begins. In 1873, Alice's son Friedrich, or Fritti, dies of haemophilia. He fell out of a window and the internal bleeding couldn't be stopped. Alice was inconsolable. She wrote about it endlessly, unable to process the loss. Her whole body and spirit broke. And what does Queen Victoria do? She sends a short note. No visit, no real comfort, just more guilt, more emotional distance, as if to say, this is what happens when you live far away from your mother. Victoria, the letter bomber. Now we need to talk about the letters, because Queen Victoria's weapon of choice was the guilt-riddled correspondence. Alice would write things like, I am tired, dear mamma. I do not know if I can do this much longer. And Victoria would reply, one must never give way to one's feelings. You must consider your duty to your husband and station. I am disappointed. Every time Alice opened an envelope, it was like receiving an emotional landmine from Buckingham Palace. The diphtheria outbreak. Alice's final sacrifice. Cut to 1878. Diphtheria sweeps through Alice's household. One by one her children fall ill, including her youngest, Marie. Alice kisses Marie goodbye. Marie dies. Then her son Ernest breaks down, grieving his sister. Alice comforts him, kisses him too, and within days she has diphtheria. Alice dies on December 14th, 1878, the anniversary of her father Prince Albert's death. She was 35 years old. And Queen Victoria, she didn't come to the funeral. She wrote in her diary about how dreadful the day was because of Albert. Alice's death was just a footnote. Alice didn't get statues. She didn't get poems. She didn't even get much credit. But her children would change history. Alex, her youngest surviving daughter, became the last Empress of Russia, murdered in a basement in 1918. Victoria, another daughter, became the matriarch of European royalty, grandmother of Prince Philip. Ernest went on to rule Hesse with a haunted heart. And Alice? She was remembered, barely, as the serious one, the sickly one, the mother of the Romanovs. Let's call it what it is. Alice died trying to please her mother. She gave everything, her youth, her health, her happiness, trying to earn Queen Victoria's impossible approval. And Victoria? She mourned her husband for 40 years. She mourned her dogs longer than she mourned Alice. This is what happens when emotional intelligence meets emotional neglect, when love tries to grow in the shadow of monarchy. Princess Alice wasn't cold, distant, or vain. She was brave. She was kind. She was exhausted. And she was more royal in spirit than her mother ever was. So here's to Alice, the daughter who deserved better. May she rest where guilt can't reach her anymore. Rest in peace, Victorian angel. We remember. If this one hit you in the Historical Trauma Centre, leave a candle emoji in the comments. Subscribe for more Past People, where history isn't boring, it's bleak, bougie, and bizarre.